Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I know it's been a while. I've been enjoying the let it just the roll with it stage of my life because I really think this is actually the first, probably one of the first few times in my life I've ever just gone with the flow. Like, I usually am very meticulous with the things I like doing, but I also have fun like just thinking on my feet and having to adapt to the situation. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. I would have been posting regularly, but I guess I've just really been that busy. And more importantly, I have been manifesting. I've been using all them crystals and the zodiac signs and the tarot cards. I'm just bullshitting. I don't have enough money to buy that shit. And even if I did, like, why would I? And it's not just been me, and it's been a joke between me and my friends now for like the past couple of weeks. We have been seeing reality play out in front of us as we're talking about it. And the fact that we have all witnessed it means we know that this is not something. How is the exact thing that you're talking about happening right in front of you, or shortly after you've talked about it? You want to bring the fucking. And Christopher Sedaris, he brought up this term, this what did he call them? The lab coat mafia, right? All the logic and the science and the skepticism, right? It's such a great term because you know coincidences are something that just so easily explained away, but I think it's just part of the disinformation about reality. For example, I was talking to a security guard the other day, and we were just talking about basically life and all this other stuff, and I was asking about his first aid qualifications, and he told me, yeah, we do all the fire drills, and now in the neighborhood where we live, like, people are so aloof and oblivious about pretty much everything, right? It's not even like I don't. You can just call it a place where people just come to sleep, take dumps, shower, eat, maybe fuck once in a while, and then just leave. It's not a home, right? You can call it a house, the place they live, but there's nothing. There's no home. There's no idea of a home or community here. So we were talking about how they're qualified, for emergency situations and fire and first aid, injuries, what happens in case of an injury, you know, and we saw these two kids playing, and the kids came up to us, right? Two little girls, and one of them had like this, not a necklace, those, like, those fluffy, like, really long ropes that people have during birthdays and Christmas. Those, I don't know what they're called, but she had that, and she started doing jump rope with it, and we didn't think much of it. We were just talking, and literally 1 minute after we were talking about that, she trips on the thing she was swinging on and hits her fucking chin. Like, it was so loud. Immediately she just started crying. She literally cried all the way home. It was one of the funniest things I'd seen. Like, I couldn't even feel bad because I'm like, I don't know. Am I really that evil? Has it gone to this extent? But that's just one example. We were talking about, what do people do? Literally, we were literally talking about, if somebody had like a broken leg, or they were in a car accident or something, or they tripped and they're bleeding. What would you do? And literally, as soon as we finished talking about it, a kid hits her chin. She didn't break anything. It was obviously would have been painful for anyone, let alone a kid. But there's no blood or anything, right? And the security guard himself was in disbelief. He did not believe that it happened right in front of him. Right? He was in shock. He was in absolute shock. And that's just one example. There's so many others that have happened from over the past while. What kind of what lab coat, what lab coat mafia explanation exists for that? I guess what we understand, what we understand as reality, it's a script. It's a fucking narrative. Like even me, somebody who's very prone to empiricism and uh maybe not in my rants. Okay, I say bullshit in my rants, but like I really like science. I really enjoy science, right? I enjoy history. I enjoy forensics. I enjoy all this stuff. I enjoy research, right? I enjoy things that I can understand, if that makes sense. And a lot of scientific principles I tend to understand very well. However, and it's one reason why for somebody to reject this reality, even if, we know gravity exists, right? But what purpose does it really serve, right? Or what meaning does it really have? What does gravity have? Like, we all know if we jump off a really high building, we're all gonna die, right? Does that make this reality any less of what it actually is? If you know germs cause disease, if uh, sunlight causes cancer if you get too much of it or whatever, does that change what this reality fundamentally is? And if it doesn't, then why wouldn't imagining reality as what you want to do, or rather make reality fit into what you want to do, right? Which I guess to me that's what manifestation seems like. Why would that be such a bad thing? I think it would be such a bad thing because it goes completely off script. The thing about this reality is everything has to stay on script. You, yourself, you, the person listening to this right now, you have to stay on script about your fucking self, your own personality. But who are you? Who am I? Who am I? What the hell does that even mean? Like, if today I stopped talking like myself or acting like myself, but the thing is, even you would know. That doesn't sound, even if you've never met me, right? You only know me from the content that I've made. Even you would know, this guy doesn't normally talk like this, maybe something's going on or blah, blah. But like, what the hell are we really in that case? Because I probably know my triggers. I know what things I like to do and what things I don't like to do, all that. But apart from that, is that what being you is? Is it just about knowing the things you like and don't like? Because that's like, is that really a measure? Right? And it's one thing to not have a sense of personality, which I really believe most people are in that cycle right now. Most people don't have a personality of their own. That's why they continue to push all the toxic things that are terrible for them, because they have no backbone. They have no desire within themselves to just be themselves, right? Because they're afraid of, I don't know what. I really can't say. Most people don't have a personality of their own. They just inherited a personality from either their parents, grandparents, their surroundings, or most importantly, their friends, right? But when you actually sit down and think, what am I? Who am I? What does it mean to be me? There is no meaning. It doesn't mean it means nothing to be you, but it means everything to be you. To be you, the particular person that you are. Even if you believe in reincarnation or whatever, there will never be this version of you, this iteration of you. There will never be another one again. There's never been another one, and there will never be another one, right? That in itself is an act of manifestation that you have been going through your entire life. That in itself is manifestation. And to me, I think to me, it's when I finally just accepted to myself that, it's time for me to just do the things I like, the things I love, because I keep carrying these pointless ass burdens that I didn't even ask for in the first place to please people that don't actually really care about whether I'm happy or not. As long as I'm just there doing the things that they think I should be doing. That's what makes them happy, right? Doesn't make me happy, but it makes them happy. So I just decided to just do what I want. To just do what makes me fucking happy, because there is no give and take here. It's just take, 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 take. And the moment you stop giving, you turn into the enemy. You turn into um the villain, right? In fact, I even stopped, like, let's say a month now, a month and a half ago, I stopped talking to somebody I considered a friend, right? We were also kind of doing business, but I, and the thing is, I let a lot of things slide because I understood his situation. But the more and more I observed him, I realized he's actually just a piece of shit. He's actually, maybe let me not go that far, right? He knows his mistakes. He knows his flaws. He knows his character flaws. Not only does he not care, but he wants me, or he wants somebody else. He wants the people around them to also not care. And to me, that's like the biggest sign of a piece of shit that could possibly exist. I'm not here and why is it the urge for people to say, I'm not perfect, nobody's perfect? I don't think even narcissists will come out and say that they are perfect. They will hint at it, right? They will have lapses in logic that seem perfectly normal to them, but nobody is ever going to admit, like, I am perfect, I have this, I have that, right? And even if they do, you just be like, yeah, you're insane, I don't expect anyone to be like, I don't know. I don't even know what the hell to expect a perfect person to be like, right? We all have bullshit, right? We all have bullshit to deal with. You just have to deal with the least amount of bullshit possible. Everyone, even if you're somebody who doesn't take shit, right? Everyone, there's going to be times, and this, I keep saying, this reality will show you. It will give you what you want, but not how you want, right? Just to fuck with you. I'm on the verge of even blocking him because he's just not getting the fucking hint. And I've already told him, I completely aired him out, and I told him why I'm not going to keep dealing like this. And if he were actually a friend, he would have understood and given me that space. But the fact that he just keeps going and going, and like, I have no problem blocking somebody like that. After I've explained myself, I'm not going to. I hate repeating myself twice. I'm not going to do it again. But having shut that door, having shut that, like, cutting off that kind of parasitic relationship or friendship, whatever you want to even fucking call it, man. It has, I really believe in the power of energy. And once you have your energy to yourself and you're using it positively for yourself, reality has really no choice but to just let you carve your own path, right? I would like to believe that the things I'm saying, they're not applicable to everybody, right? Maybe they're applicable to a lot of people or a few people. There's people undergoing so much torture right now. Pure torture, like literal hell, right this second. And I'd like to believe the things that I'm saying might be able to help them, just manifest your way out of slavery or sex slavery or, like, domestic abuse, just manifest your way out of it. But there comes a time where you just have to cut people off in a permanent way so that your life can actually go on the way you want it to go on. To me, manifesting is not about like some, oh, speak truth to power and speak positive vibes. I don't speak positive vibes. I don't speak any kind of positive vibes, but manifestation still works for me, right? I don't think it's about that. I think it's just having the intent to do good for yourself. And I'll expound more in another video about this concept. It's more about doing good for yourself. As much as you think you can be selfish and altruistic, there's an element of narcissism there that gets commonly overlooked. Because this element of taking care of others at the expense of yourself over and over and over, it's to the point where it's self-destructive, especially. That to me isn't really altruistic. It's more paternalistic, right? You're so good to people that you have to keep being good to people, and eventually just builds up in resentment. But it's your fault. You have no obligation to be good to people, especially when they haven't been good to you, especially when they don't reciprocate it. You have no obligation. In fact, in this reality, you have no obligation except to just exist and then die. That's it. Those are the only obligations you have. And they're not even obligations. They were just pretty much, they're curses, really, right? Nobody curses themselves on purpose. And even if they do, like, the mechanisms were already there to do it anyways. You're just cursed here to exist and die. But existence itself, I don't say is a curse, right? The imposition of existence is a curse. But you're here to exist and then die. And in that short time, as fucked up as it may be, you should strive for some sort of reprieve, some sort of outlet, some sort of like self-vindication, if that makes sense. You know, just some sort of like, okay, even if it's that messed up here, right? Doing things on your terms, living on your terms, thinking, most importantly, on your own terms. I can't stress that enough. Thinking on your own terms. Because you can change your environment, but if you don't change your mentality as well, nothing has changed. Nothing will change. It's a reason why in school we're not taught to question things. You're not actually taught to question things. You're only ever taught to actually question things if you go into a degree, like after high school, like you go into a degree that actually requires those skills, you know? Question why this is, research methodologies, you know, even philosophy, all these, you know, you if you're looking for that particular skill set, that's the only time you're going to find it. But if you're expecting to get it out of the education system, you're lying to yourself. And even in that context, even in the university context, it's still a very rigid amount of what you can and can't say, what you can and can't question. It's not like a free-for-all. You have to find it yourself, because everything is just stacked against us to disallow us to think. To know how to think, right? Thinking for yourself it's become a buzzword now. It's become such a buzzword, like this. It's like taking accountability. That's also going to be another video. Thinking for yourself, you might be a dumb fuck. Maybe you shouldn't think for yourself, you know? Maybe you shouldn't actually think for yourself. Maybe somebody else should think for you because you're stupid, which is fine. You know, not all of us are fucking brilliant. I'm not fucking brilliant, but you know, if someone's saying dumb shit, I'm going to be like, yo, that's dumb, you know? But how to think, knowing how to think. I don't even say think for yourself or how to think for yourself. Just knowing how to think is an indispensable skill. And if you know how to think, then really manifesting doesn't even become some nebulous, mysterious concept. It's self-evident, right? It's self-evident. So, you know, go out there and manifest, I guess.